tardes. Hello. Good afternoon. I'm not Corky. Thank you all for coming. As you know, this is a fundraiser. Como ustedes saben, esto es un levanta fondos. This is for our Patronato Filomúsica AC, which is the legal and administrative arm of Camarada Gordon Campbell, the Coro de Comunidad de Culiacán, and now Sinfonietta Filomúsica Juventus, which is a group of young, aspiring professional players, and we are helping to raise them to a professional level, along with many singers and instrumentalists that we've been helping for the last 10 years. Entonces, esto es el arma administrativo Filomúsica AC, que apoya tanto a Camarada Gordon Campbell y hace la posibilidad que estos conciertos se realizan entre los meses de enero, febrero y marzo, también el coro de la comunidad de Culiacán, y ahora, últimamente, la Sinfonietta Filomúsica Juventus, que es un grupo de gente joven aspirando a ser profesionales, y estoy en este momento ayudándoles a subir. The last group is completely volunteer, and as well I'm a volunteer, but as you all know, an organization like that does cost money, and we are helping to do that, and now you are helping to do that. Todo esto lo están haciendo nosotros, y este patronato está ayudándoles a ellos, y el día de hoy ustedes están ayudando. I'd just like to mention in the program, if anybody is interested in helping out even a little more, you will find in the program data on how to contribute, and in the worst case, if you can't figure it out here, see me or my wife. Si no pueden agarrar esto, pueden ver a mi esposa o a mí. I'd like to thank some of our patrons, the Venados, Mazatlan Life, as well as Cultura Mazatlan, and of course today, Vivace Productions. Thank you very much, all of you, for your help. No voy a repetirlos en español, que ya pueden entender eso. Get ready for a real treat. Prepárense para una cosa tremenda. I would just like to say about that, solamente quisiera decir que Corky and Angélica both have donated their time and their services to make this possible. And so, when we knew we could do this, cuando supimos que pudimos hacer esto, we started thinking what we were going to do. So what you're going to see now is the work of about a week and a half. Corky writing the show. Esto lo que van a hacer, se van a ver un show que Corky lo escribió la semana pasada. We talked with Angélica, we started rehearsing, comenzamos a ensayar, and Raul Rico and his team put together a phenomenal video, multimedia performance to back all of this up. And I think we have some really special surprises that we hatched yesterday in the evening to continue the secret life. Creo que vamos con algunas cosas que aún empezamos a confabular ayer en la tarde y que vamos a ver cómo sale. There's so many surprises in Corky's life that I invite all of you to stay for the cocktail, because I don't think he fit everything in. And there's things that I'd love to tell you about him, and I'm sure you'll have questions for him after the show. Please stay, have a drink, and all the questions you want to ask either Angélica or Corky, we'll be able to have a nice moment after the performance. Quisiera que después de la actuación, quisiera seguir explicando las cosas increíbles en la vida de Corky que aún no cabe dentro del tiempo que vamos a estar durante el show, y con la habilidad de preguntarle los dos qué es que quieren saber de las vidas de ambos. Thank you very much for coming, and I guess the show's about to start.
Thank you. cake and eat it too. Ah, but I've been wrong about some things in my life. Am I wrong?
Muy buenas tardes. Bienvenidos. Hello, good evening. Welcome. Welcome. Corky Siegel to Mazacán. Bienvenido, maestro. Luego de muchísimos años de resistirse a poner toda la historia de su vida en este conjunto de fotografías, finalmente el maestro Corky ha decidido compartirlas con nosotros. Para los que tenemos más de 75 años, dice él, el pasado se vuelve muy distante. Es como mirar a través del otro lado de un telescopio. El presente se vuelve hondo, profundo, y el futuro, un viejo amigo conocido que siempre aparece lleno de sorpresas. After procrastinating for 76 years, Corky has finally put this slideshow together to share with us some secrets of his life. For those who are over 75, the past becomes very distant. It's like looking through the other end of a telescope, and it's filled with a cornucopia of experiences. The present is profound and deep, and the future has become an old familiar friend, always showing up with its surprises. Lo que vamos a relatar ahora, la historia de la vida de Corky, no es acerca de los sueños que soñó, no es acerca de los sueños que persiguiera, sino de los sueños que simplemente entraron por su ventana, como pelusas, como copos de nieve o copos de algodón. Corky se llama a sí mismo la víctima inocente de una fortuna extraordinaria. The story we are about to tell is not about the dreams Corky dreamt, nor the dreams that were sought by him. It's about the dreams that just came through his window like white fluffies from the cottonwood tree. Corky is, after all, as he calls himself, an innocent victim of extraordinary good fortune. Esta canción que vamos a escuchar relata las experiencias acerca del lugar donde Corky nació. La canción se llama Southwest Coast Blues. This song is about where Corky was born and raised, and is called the
Southwest Coast Blues. I thought that was a good transition. skyscraper swaying and the pigeons are playing on the roof again. I'm selling ice cream bars and it may take hours to get rich again. On the streets, on the sidewalks of the southwest coast of Lake Michigan. On the southwest coast of Lake Michigan, and I ain't gonna leave you alone unless I get a itch again. Because I'm so happy just looking out the window with you, my friend, watching the cops chase the robbers of the southwest coast of Lake Michigan. And the dead fish are flashing on the lake again, and the wind is shifting and the smog is drifting in our Chicagoland. Now I've been sitting here thinking we're gonna have to be here to the very end, waiting for the palm trees to grow on the southwest coast of Lake Michigan.
Cuando Corky iba en la primaria, su padre recibió una llamada de la directora de la escuela, y cuando el papá se entrevistó con ella le dijo ¿cuál es el problema? Y la directora le dijo quiero que usted se dé cuenta por usted mismo. Lo llevó al salón donde estaban todos los demás niños muy atentos a lo que la maestra les estaba enseñando, y el maestro Corky Siegel miraba a través de la ventana abierta como los copos de nieve, no de nieve, de algodón, las pelusas de algodón flotaban en el aire y él las estaba soplando una tras otra sin atender nada de lo que decía la maestra. When Corky was a little boy, his dad was called to school and the principal scolded him, and his dad said, "What's the problem?" And he said, "You must see for yourself, Mr. Siegel." So she takes Corky's dad to the door of his son's classroom, where you could see that the children inside had their hands raised, and they were all interested and excited about what the teacher was saying. But there was Corky at the back of the room, gazing outside a little white fluffy from a cottonwood tree floated through the window. So this defines the vision of how Corky confronts, seizes, and expresses life. La siguiente canción se llama Déjà Vu y dice: ¿será que he visto esa cara antes? ¿En algún lugar particular? ¿En algún tiempo preciso? No estoy seguro. ¿Será un déjà vu? ¿O será simplemente mi imaginación que está corriendo en dirección a ti? Es que tú te ves tan libre, te ves tan desenvuelta, que yo quisiera que tu imaginación se dejara venir hacia mí. And this is our next song, Déjà Vu.
I've seen that face before. Some particular time and place before. I don't know, could deja vu or just imagination running away with you? Just imagination running away with you. I've seen those eyes before. Now I've been so hypnotized before. Is that you doing voodoo, or just my imagination running away with you? Just my imagination running away with you. I guess we never met before. These we never met as yet before. Well, you're so cool and I'm so free. How about your imagination running away with me? You're so cool and I'm so free. How about your imagination running away with me? How about your imagination
la edad de 20 años, Corky se enamoró del estilo de blues del músico Howlin' Wolf. Particularmente Howlin' Wolf, aunque también le interesaba la música que tocaban los grandes maestros, en particular Muddy Waters. At 20 years of age, Corky fell head over heels in love with the blues of Howlin' Wolf, whom he especially loved, but also Muddy Waters and all the blues masters. Corky empezó a tocar algunos de los sonidos más sencillos del blues en el piano y la armónica, y en el año 65 conoció a Jim Schwab. Inmediatamente se convirtieron en cómplices musicales. Corky began learning to play some simple blues sounds on the piano and harmonica. He met Jim Schwab in 1965 and they became instant musical soulmates. Esas pelusas, esos copos de algodón siguieron llegando a la ventana siempre abierta de su vida. The white fluffies from the cottonwood trees kept coming, and Corky didn't even pursue them. They just continued to float towards him through the open windows of his life. Nunca había tocado en público, nunca habían tocado en público, y de pronto, en su inocencia, Jim y Corky entraron sin pensarlo dos veces a un café en Chicago una tarde de 1965 con la armónica y la guitarra en la mano, solicitando tocar en ese lugar. Having never even stepped into the public square before, Jim and Corky, in their innocence, walked fresh and fearless into a coffee house in Chicago one afternoon in 1965, and with harmonica and guitar in hand, asked to play. Únicamente había dos clientes en el café, muy en la parte de atrás. Después de que interpretaron un par de canciones, esa gente se acercó a solicitar que les ayudaran a componer una obra musical. Trabajaron juntos varios meses, incluso les pidieron a Jim y a Corky que tocaran en escena con ellos y en anticipación al estreno futuro que ocurriría en Broadway, rentaron un teatro en la ciudad de Chicago, en el Parque Hyde, el teatro llamado Harper. Pero Nueva York llamó a los productores y el proyecto en Chicago tuvo que ser cancelado. There were only 2 customers in that coffee house sitting way in the back, and after a couple of songs, they approached Jim and Corky and asked if they could help write their musical play. They worked with these fellows many months, and they even asked Jim and Corky to be on stage with them, and in anticipation of a future premiere performance, the playwrights rented the Harper Theater in Chicago's Hyde Park, but soon got called to New York and had to drop the project. Después de un año de no saber nada de ellos, de pronto regresaron y habían cambiado la idea respecto de su obra musical. Ahora se trataría respecto del movimiento hippie en San Francisco y el verano de amor que estaba ocurriendo en el estado de California. About a year later, they asked Corky and Jim if they would continue working with them. They had by now changed the storyline. It was about the hippie movement in San Francisco and the summer of love, and they were calling it Hair. El musical se llamaría Hair. ¿Quién hubiera pensado que habrían sido invitados en una primera instancia por los escritores, compositores James Rado y Jerome Ragney para crear un nuevo género musical, el musical de rock? Estas canciones de Hair conquistaron el mundo en los años 60 y 70 y se volverían los himnos internacionales del movimiento por la paz y los derechos humanos. Who would have thought that Siegel and Schwalb's first ad hoc attempt at playing music in public would bring them to collaborate with the soon-to-be internationally renowned playwrights James Rado and Jerome Ragni, who created an absolutely new genre, the rock musical. Their songs took the world by storm in the 60s and 70s and would become internationally revered anthems for the peace movement and for civil rights. And who could have imagined that Jim and Corky would turn down such an offer to write the music for Hair? However, Siegel and Schwalb was on the road at that time, and 53 years ago, without smartphones, without Skype, without email and WhatsApp, the collaboration would have been impossible. Later, when they were in Chicago, Rado and Ragni came up to Corky's apartment and played all the songs from Hair on his piano right before the off-Broadway premiere in New York. Un tiempo después, estando en Chicago, estos autores, Rado y Ragni, interpretaron todas las canciones de Hair en el apartamento de Corky en su propio piano, justo antes del estreno en Nueva York, off-Broadway. Hay una parte adicional a esta historia y tiene que ver con una foto que vamos a ver ahora de Chet Helms, que es el hippie número 1 de San Francisco, quien descubrió, entre otros talentos enormes, a Janis Joplin y quien empezó toda el movimiento musical de la era de los hippies en San Francisco. There is an addendum to this story, and this is the picture of Chet Helms. Yes, San Francisco's #1 hippie, who discovered Janis Joplin and started the whole San Francisco music scene. Este Chet Helms también inspiró a otro músico y empresario de San Francisco, Bill Graham, que está a su derecha en esta foto, o más bien a nuestra derecha. Chet, conocido como el padre del verano de amor en San Francisco y que había inspirado la historia de Hair. Aunque Schwalb y Siegel no trabajaron en la composición, la elaboración de estas melodías que integraron el musical Hair, sin embargo, se vieron completamente envueltos en la tormenta que se desató a raíz del estreno de este musical, al mismo tiempo que Janis Joplin, Jefferson Airplane, The Grateful Dead y todos esos grupos tan importantes de esa época. Porque, para variar, ese copo de algodón no buscado, en este caso, Chet Helms, se volvió el empresario del grupo de Corky. He also inspired, Chet Helms did, another San Francisco music empresario, Bill Graham, on our right here on the screen. Chet was correctly known as the father of the San Francisco Summer of Love, which the story of Hair was based on. Although Jim and Corky didn't write the music for Hair, they were injected directly into the Summer of Love and ended up as living actors in the eye of the storm, along with Janis Joplin, Jefferson Airplane, The Grateful Dead, and the like, because as another fluffy came on south, Chet Helms took them under his wing as manager. Estamos en 1967, cuando ellos empiezan a ser difundidos, promovidos por Chet Helms. Pero regresemos al 65. Jim y Corky todavía están en la escuela y están buscando esa experiencia de tocar música en público. When Chellos took them under their wing was 1967, but we are still in 65, and Jim and Corky are still in school and still pursuing the experience of playing music in public.
This is a song by Jimmy Reed, by the way. That's amazing. I mean, I couldn't even do that in one language. It's like, okay, I'm trying to keep up here, okay.
Here we go, here we go.
can see you run, baby. You don't have to go. I'll just pack up my bag, darling, and down the road I go.
Entonces estamos en 1965 en Chicago y una vez que Rado y Ragni habían dejado a un lado el proyecto original de Hair y se habían ido a Nueva York, entonces Jim y Corky empezaron a buscar dónde tocar en público. Esto es antes del movimiento por los derechos civiles y, sin embargo, ellos cruzaron esas vías, cruzaron ese camino y cruzaron las vías del tren que llevan al lado sur de Chicago, un barrio en el que tal vez no hubieran sido bienvenidos, y entraron una tarde a una taberna. So here we are, it's 1965 in Chicago, when Radio and Ragni dropped the original project and headed for New York. Now Jim and Corky picked up where they left off, looking for somewhere to share their music in public. This was before the civil rights movement was in bloom, but they crossed the tracks anyway and wandered innocently into a South Side tavern one afternoon. Era la segunda vez que intentaban tocar en público. El dueño de esa taberna les preguntó qué querían hacer, tocaron algunas canciones y se sorprendieron mucho cuando los contrataron para tocar todos los jueves de 9 de la noche a 4 de la mañana. This was only their second venture into the public square. The owner asked them to play a few tunes, and to their surprise, he hired them to play from 9 p.m. till 4 a.m. every Thursday night. La primera noche que tocaron, tuvieron una sorpresa, porque de pronto, de la nada, se sube al escenario Muddy Waters para cantar con ellos. On their first night, it was certainly quite a surprise when Muddy Waters himself came out of nowhere and just hopped on stage to sing with them. And then Willie Dixon, y luego Willie Dixon, y luego Otis Spann también subió a ese escenario, and then Otis Spann hopped up there as well, and then Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, James Cotton, and all the blues masters night after night. Y de pronto todos los grandes de blues, noche tras noche, se subieron a ese escenario a tocar juntos. Incluso el gran preferido y maestro de Corky, Howlin' Wolf. And even Corky's favorite, Howlin' Wolf. There he is. A la edad de 21 años, esos focos de algodón entraban por la ventana, volvieron a entrar. Corky empezó a darse cuenta que había empezado a tocar en uno de los más selectos y más importantes clubes de blues en todo el mundo, el Pepper's Lounge. At 21 years old, as the white fluffies of fortune flew through the window, Corky was beginning to realize that he had landed a steady engagement at the most iconic blues club in the world, Pepper's Lounge. Mientras los Rolling Stones de Inglaterra estaban escuchando y deleitándose a través de esa escucha con los grandes maestros de este tipo de música, los maestros Siegel y Schwab estaban tocando con ellos todas las noches hasta la madrugada. Esta es una historia de amor. Corky y Jim expresaron ese amor tan profundo y ese respeto absoluto hacia esos grandes maestros de la música. y esos maestros devolvieron el mismo sentimiento a ellos. While the Rolling Stones were listening to the music of these masters, Siegel and Schwab were making music with them every Thursday till the wee hours of the morning. This was a story of love. Corky and Jim expressed the deep love and respect they had for these masters and their music. And the masters felt this and returned that love full tilt.
And we're still in school.
Todavía en escuela.
Unbelievable. So, one other fellow comes to sit in, and he seems like he's been drinking a lot.
Sube otra persona al escenario y parece que ya ha echado sus cervecitas.
And I go, why don't you come back another time when you're feeling better?
Entonces él dice, mejor regrese en otra ocasión en la que usted se sienta mejor.
And the audience yells out, let him sit in. That's little Walter.
Y entonces el público dice, pero ¿por qué no lo dejan tocar? Se trata del Little Walter.
It gets much worse.
Esto empeora todavía.
Because I'm thinking, who's little Walter?
Y Corky se preguntó a sí mismo, ¿quién será este Little Walter?
And of course, he's the father of blues harmonica.
Es el padre de la armónica de blues. Little Walter, aquí está.
So, I go, okay, you can sit in.
Ahora le vamos a dar permiso de que toque con
So
nosotros.
I go over to the piano and he comes and plays the harmonica. And I go, oh my God, that's little Walter.
En cuando empieza a tocar, Corky lo reconoce y dice, se trata de este Little Walter, nada menos.
I never read the back of the album covers.
Nunca leí el otro lado de los discos, de las carátulas de los discos. No sabía los nombres de esta persona.
I was so new and so naive.
Era muy nuevo, muy inocente, muy joven.
So anyway, I thought I better try and start learning a little Walter, a tune of Little Walter muy popular.
Y sintió el compromiso de aprenderse algunas de las melodías que interpretaba el Little Walter a partir de esa noche. Y esto es Mellow Down Easy.
I'm still working on it. It's only been about 55 years.
55 años después, todavía sigo trabajando en esta canción.
Everywhere you got to mellow down easy, babe. Mellow down easy, babe. Mellow down easy, you really gonna go your time. Mellow down easy, you really gonna go your time. Down easy, or you really gonna go your time. Everywhere you got to mellow down easy, man. Mellow down easy, man. You really gonna go your time. you.
Estamos en el año 66, Corky tiene 22 años. Él y Jim habían oído que Paul Butterfield se iba de gira y que el centro nocturno en el que se presentaba en la parte norte de Chicago, en la llamada Ciudad Vieja, ese lugar necesitaba a alguien para llenar el lugar de Paul Butterfield. Jim y Corky, que todavía ni siquiera tenían un nombre para su grupo, se presentaron a la audición y de pronto se quedaron como residentes en Big John's. Now it's 1966. Corky is 22. He and Jim had heard that Paul Butterfield was going on the road, and the club on the north side of Chicago's Old Town needed someone to fill the space. Jim and Corky had no ambition and still didn't even have a name for their band. But, again the Fluffies, they won the audition for the residency at Big John's. Inmediatamente fueron solicitados por distintas compañías de discos y finalmente firmó contrato con ellos fue Vanguard Records. Ellos en el año 66 sacaron al mercado ese disco estando todavía en el colegio. They were immediately pursued by the major recording companies and eventually signed by Vanguard Records. The record was released that year, 1966, while Jim and Corky were still in school. You guys were in school for a long time.
I was in high school 5 years, and college.
5 años de secundaria, con razón se tardaron en la escuela.
So this is a blues, we're here now, right? This is a blues sounding tune. I'm trying to keep this more bluesy. People like Little Walter and Wolf and Buddy watching over my shoulder. I wrote this one with my wife also. One boat, no shore. This is called One Boat, No Shore. One boat, no shore. We need kindness, no room for hate anymore. There's no shore, we're all in one boat. We sail, or we sink. It don't matter what anybody thinks. There's no shore, we're all in one boat. We are the captains who can steer this boat towards sweet, gentle waters to keep us afloat. With all our goodness, together joyfully, we'll pour our love and hearts out for a democracy, 'cause we're all in the same boat. There's no shore, can't fool Mother Nature anymore. There's no shore, we're all in one boat. gentle waters to keep us afloat. With our goodness together and joyfully, we'll pour our loving hearts out for democracy, 'cause we're all the same boat. There's no show, can't fool Mother Nature anymore. There's no show, we're all in one boat.
Compuesta por Corky y su esposa Holly, esta canción, todos vamos en el mismo barco y no se avista ninguna costa. So we are still in 1966. One blues fan would come to Big John's to hear Corky and Jim night after night. He'd stay all night long listening and watching, and one night he came up to Corky and said, "I would like your band to jam with my band." Seguimos en 1966 y de pronto un admirador del blues empezó a frecuentar este centro nocturno Big John's todas las noches, hasta que una noche se le acercó a Corky y le dice: "Y a mí me gustaría que su grupo, su conjunto musical, tocara con el mío." Y Corky se pregunta: ¿quién será este señor? ¿Qué tipo de grupo musical tendrá? Corky wonders, who is this guy? And what is his band? De pronto, se dio cuenta que se trataba del director de orquesta famosísimo Seiji Ozawa y que el grupo musical con el que él estaba ofreciendo tocar era nada menos que la Orquesta Sinfónica de Chicago. As it turns out, he was the world-renowned conductor Seiji Ozawa, and his band was the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. And they worked with composer William Russo, and Corky suggested. Finalmente colaboraron con el compositor William Russo y Corky sugirió: nosotros estamos intentando hacer música que a la gente le guste. ¿Qué pasaría si pensáramos en un programa para que a la gente no le gustara la música? Corky said, as we find ways of creating a collaboration that weaves classical and blues ideas together, we should also make sure we are presenting something for everyone not to like. Seiji and William laughed and agreed. El director Seiji Ozawa y el compositor William estuvieron de acuerdo y en 1968 el diario Chicago Tribune publica un artículo en el que dice que en el momento en que Corky une su armónica al micrófono del pabellón enorme de la Casa de Ópera de Chicago y en el momento en que él empieza a tocar eso que suena medio a saxofón, medio a trompeta, el más conservador, o más bien el menos conservador de los miembros de la Orquesta Sinfónica de Chicago hubiera tenido escalofrío del horror. The Chicago Tribune said, when Corky Siegel cupped his harmonica and the pavilion microphone together and began a half saxophone, half blues trumpet wail, even the least conservative Chicago Symphony Orchestra member might have shivered at the handwriting on the crumbling walls. This groundbreaking performance led to invitations from the top-tier orchestras all over the world, including the Boston Symphony and the New York Philharmonic, as well as million-selling records on the iconic classical label Deutsche Grammophon in the 70s. Esto lo acercó a otras grandes orquestas del mundo, incluyendo la Sinfónica de Boston, la Filarmónica de Nueva York, y ha grabado discos que han vendido millones de copias desde los 60 y desde los 70, con la compañía clásica Deutsche Grammophon. De pronto, Corky estaba en el año 69 en Lincoln Center tocando con la Filarmónica de Nueva York, y era el momento en el que había un abismo generacional en la sociedad norteamericana. El movimiento hippie tenía muy mala relación con la sociedad más establecida, de modo que Corky y Seiji Ozawa representaban también esta manera de unir por los opuestos, la música clásica, el blues, los negros, los blancos, los jóvenes, las generaciones mayores. Y de pronto el presidente de la Asociación Sinfónica de Nueva York reportó que, para su sorpresa, en el Lincoln Center, la noche en que se presentaron Corky y el maestro Ozawa con la Filarmónica de Nueva York, había escuchado el administrador de la Asociación Sinfónica la más impresionante ovación de pie de la cual él hubiera tenido memoria en Lincoln Center. When Corky and his band, with long hair and amplifiers, stepped on stage in 1969 with the New York Philharmonic, loud boos and hisses filled Lincoln Center. It just didn't seem like it would ever stop. This was the height of what was called a generation gap, with bad blood between the hippies and the establishment. Seiji and Corky and band played the music, and at the end of the concert, as reported by the president of the Symphony Association, it was the longest and most intense standing ovation he had ever heard at Lincoln Center. Corky saw how the power of music brought people of diverse minds together, and he vowed to continue to serve the muse. Mientras llegó la invasión inglesa de música y de músicos, y la revolución blues rock estaba siendo descubierta por el mundo entero, Corky continuó a abatir muros, a batir fronteras y a exponer el género del blues a millones de admiradores de la música clásica que al principio fueron escépticos, pero que invariablemente se enamoraron del género del blues. While the English invasion and the blues rock revolution was spreading the blues to welcoming audiences all around the world, Corky continued and continues to this day to break down walls and expose the blues genre to millions of skeptical classical concertgoers who would invariably fall in love. The New York Times headline, "They love Corky Siegel in Lincoln Center. The audience didn't merely like it, they loved it." Corky continued to pursue symphonic blues with major orchestras, and at Seiji's urging, even accepted offers for Pop's concerts with other conductors like Arthur Fiedler. Corky continuó a integrar la música sinfónica con el blues, y bajo la sugerencia, a raíz de la sugerencia del maestro Seiji Ozawa, empezó a trabajar con otras orquestas, incluyendo los Boston Pops, bajo la batuta del maestro director Arthur Fiedler. El maestro Ozawa, Seiji Ozawa, en esta foto, director de la Orquesta Sinfónica de Chicago.
And now Arthur Fiedler, right?
Y ahora vienen the Boston Pops y Jackie.
Tonight, from the Champagne and Flowers of Symphony Hall in Boston, it's Evening at Pops with Arthur Fiedler, Boston Pops Orchestra, and tonight's special guest, the Siegel Schwall Blues Band. Boston's grand man of music, Arthur Fiedler, and special guest, the Siegel Blues Band from Chicago, together on Evening at Pops. Corky Siegel plays electric piano and harmonica, and Jim Schwall is one of the best blues guitarists in the business. With Al Radford on bass and Shelley Plotkin drums, they've been in clubs and concert halls all over the country, from the Boston Tea Party and the Newport Folk Festival to the New York Philharmonic and the Boston Symphony Orchestras. We come now to the featured portion of this Evening at Pops. The Siegel Blues Band joins Mr. Fiedler and the Pops in what's come to be a whole new musical sound, a symphonic orchestra doing Chicago blues. This is their first appearance with the Boston Pops. They'll begin with 3 pieces for blues band by William Russo.
Ahí lo tienen, Corky Siegel con los Boston Pops, dirigidos por Arthur Fiedler. So, Jim and Corky just wanted to play music. Jim and Corky simplemente querían tocar. No sabían, no tenían plan, no tenían ninguna expectativa cuando entraron a un café, a otro, a 2 tabernas. Sin embargo, esos copos de algodón seguían entrando por esa ventana abierta de su destino. With no plan or expectation, all they did was walk into one coffee house and 2 taverns, and the wonderful wide fluffies of fortune continued to float through the open fanette of fate. De pronto, Jim y Corky, sin pretenderlo, resultaron la base fundamental del lanzamiento de una de las cantantes y compositoras que más influencia tuvieron en el mundo en los años 70. Estamos apenas en el 66 y ellos siguen en la escuela. Jim and Corky were unexpectedly instrumental in the launching of the career of one of the most influential singer-songwriters of the 70s around the whole world. We're only in 1966 though, and they are still in school. So
I have to take over here because this is copyrighted material. And however, it's for historic and educational purposes. So we think we can get away with it. This coming up, first of all, is a quote from the artist's personal website, what's going to show up. And then you're going to hear the artist themselves talking about me and Jim and the music that we wrote for her, produced for her, and arranged for her. Okay, so here we go.
see if you can guess. Vamos a escuchar un
Corky Siegel is
testimonio.
an interesting component of Joni's musical history. In 1966, Joni wanted to make some demo recordings. In order to get a recording contract, she went to Chicago, and working with Siegel recorded a handful of songs for a demo tape, an important part of her career.
On my record, though, it's got a big beat and it's got some trumpets come in. Da 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 da, bum bum. That bum bum is a classical violinist who was very annoyed because that's all they got to play in the whole song. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game.
Se trata nada menos de la gran cantante Joni Mitchell. We got some Canadian people in the audience, you can clap harder. Woo! There she is.
I tried to tell her not to smoke. But anyway, on that tape where she talks about Jim and I and how she's going to try next week to take this demo tape and see if she can get a record deal. I love that. So the horn parts you heard on this distorted cassette tape, that was Jim wrote those horn parts. I wrote the one violin note for the concertmaster of the Civic Opera. He got to play one note, he was not happy about that. And then the band arrangements. Anyway, I'll let, I guess you take over now, right? Or do you want to keep going?
Yes, well,
It's your turn.
thank you. Y seguimos en el año 66. Y Corky seguía educándose, seguía llenándose de la gran influencia de esta cultura de la música del blues. De manera completamente sorpresiva, de manera completamente inesperada, estando en el escenario una noche, de pronto el gran superhéroe de Corky, su gran ídolo de la música, vino al norte de Chicago, se subió en el escenario y cantó con ellos. Y él invitó al grupo Siegel a ir de gira con él y su grupo. Se trataba nada menos del gran maestro admirado por Corky desde su infancia. We are still in the year 1966. Everything happened in 66. While about to pursue a whole career of bringing blues and classical together, Corky is still being baked into the culture and the music of the Chicago blues. Completely out of character, completely unannounced. Howlin' Wolf, Corky's main idol of the blues, his superhero, his god of music performance, came up to the north side, hopped on stage and sang with them. And he invited the Siegel Schwab Band to go on tour with him and his band. Se trataba de Howlin' Wolf. Durante la semana de compromisos que tuvieron en la ciudad de Nueva York, Howlin' Wolf venía todas las mañanas a buscar a Corky para tener largas caminatas con él en el West Village de esa ciudad. Ahora viene nuestro video número 3, está aquí de Howlin' Wolf. During the week of engagements in New York City, Wolf would knock on Corky's door every morning and they'd take long walks in the village together.
So I always thought that happened. You know how when you think about things that happened so long ago, you're not sure that they really happened? So I never saw that photo, but I remember Wolf coming up to me and singing with us. It was still in 1966. We were still in school. And then he came up to me and said, Corky, I love your band, because you're not sounding like any of the other bands. But I love my band more. And I would like to take your group on tour with us. And I wasn't sure that ever happened. And then I remember touring upper state New York and ending up in New York City for 2 weeks at the Cafe A Go-Go in the Village. And I remember having a photograph taken by David Clayton Thomas of the Blood, Sweat and Tears, but before Blood, Sweat and Tears, a young David Clayton Thomas. And him saying to sit on my knee, and on Howlin' Wolf's knee, and I never thought any of that happened. And then, about 6 months ago, I see this photo on the internet, and just about died. That's on our left, is Jack Myers. He was our bass player at the time for this tour, and he was Junior Wells and Buddy Guy's bass player on the iconic Voodoo Man album. And of course that's Jim Schwall, and then there's Howlin' Wolf. And that's me, on his knee, having just swallowed a canary. And our drummer was Chadwick at the time. But, it was taken, oh yeah, I want to tell you, it was taken by Michael Oakes, who was Phil Oakes' brother. And as it turns out, the photo wasn't taken by David Clayton Thomas. He just suggested, as I recall, that I sit on Howlin' Wolf's knee. Thank you, David, wherever you are. So, this was 1966. No, actually, that photo was January of 1967. We finally got away from 66. Now we're January 19, and we'll sort of end this in 67, but in 68, that's when we're playing with the Chicago Symphony. And it was from 68 on, where Seiji Ozawa said, Corky, you must pursue this form of music. No one else is going to do it. It brings people together. It's important for music. It's important for classical music. People need to know about the blues. And, you know, he went on and you must do this. And I didn't pursue it, but it pursued me. And I'm actually surprised that I'm still the only guy that as a career is juxtaposing blues and classical. In my chamber, it's dirty work, but somebody's got to do it. So,
I don't regret, Maestro. You make me think of my dad.
well, before you talk about your dad, because I have one more thing to say, that the most important thing that ever happened in my life, before you get to Dad, because I love Dad, he's a great songwriter. The most important thing, this is nothing, the most important thing that ever happened in my life, the most profound experience, was meeting Angélica.
And I still regret, Maestro, the fact that you never had the chance to collaborate with my dad. He was a very important composer of popular music from the state of Sinaloa, who lived in Mazatlan till the end of his life. He was 96 when he passed. And he had that same playful spirit, Maestro, that you have on stage. You would have been great together.
Wait a minute. We have a wonderful photo before we knew you on stage, after a concert with your father, Corky, my wife, Mom. So we did get together. Just we never had a chance to collaborate with any music.
Because you never wrote any kind of music that maybe Corky would have enjoyed.
Wait a minute, are you forgetting? We did a song, actually, I had the chance to work, and that's when I got to know her father. And we did an album with Orquesta Sinfónica Sinaloa de las Artes, where all of a sudden he pulls out a song of, besides all his romantic and ranchero songs, whatever he wrote, he said, what do you think about this? And it's called The Twist. And I said, wait a minute, where did this? Well, he said, oh, that's right, I forgot about that song. Yeah, I wrote it. And all of a sudden, nobody else wanted to record it, so I did. And then it became the hit song of Argentina. And I said, well, wait a minute, this is really something else. And, you know, here we are talking about what are we going to do for the end of the show. And I said, you know, this would be a great way to sort of connect all the dots. Of course, I worked for quite a while with her father before I met Angélica. And all of a sudden, we became friends, and practically a year ago to the day, they met, and all of a sudden, these wonderful connections just keep happening. So I guess that's my message.
Well, so yesterday I performed this piece called Idaho Potato Man. You know, this spud's for you. And then last night we were trying to come up with how we were going to present an ending for all of you. And he played what sounded like Idaho Potato Man. That was Angelica's dad. In the same key I played it in. Let's show. Angelica and her dad and Gordon and all of you do Idaho Potato Man. Thank you all for coming. This was really an experience for me to watch this. I was trying to hang in there. Thank Angelica and thank Jackie, who's doing the slides. Sound engineers, so I think our sound engineers did a wonderful There's something you should know before you bring me that fiddles. I know nothing that can plead a little, that's right. Got to wiggle in the piano. There's a carnival and I don't potato man. I don't pick it from a tree, don't dig it out of the ground. I'll eat it if it moves and runs around. Alright, I'll get you if you can. There's a New York State now, and I don't potato man. Nothing seen, I don't want nothing boiled. Bring it bread and a middle and charcoal broil. Oh boy, we'll keep the cow on hand. You can tell the cook there, Idaho Potato Man. When you bring me the steak, be sure to keep the potato, keep the peas and the carrot and the lettuce and tomato. I'm no vegetarian. I'm New York State, I'm Idaho Potato Man. So just send it down to the salad bar, and if it's French onion soup, it's au revoir. Hey, excuse me one more time. I'm filet mignon, not a French fried potato garçon. Chevrolet, I'm in a part of the world where life is sacred. They never cook it and they never bake it, but now I'm American. I want New York City, now that I don't potato man. Oh, yeah.
hora, dando lucha libre, radio voladora, y en mi dio por las azoteas de su casa, por las azoteas, una muchachada que grita. Se pasa ahora practicando lucha libre con patada voladora. En mi que te toco, allá por los lavaderos de su casa, con las azoteas, una muchacha que le grita que no te la jugada. Se pasa toda hora, dando lucha libre con patada voladora y también piquete de ojo por las azoteas de su casa, con la muchachada que le grita el chico. Corky Siegel.
We'll see you for wine in the lobby. Questions and continuation of this wonderful moment. Thank you for coming. See you soon. Thank you, Raul. Thank you.
Thank you.